how are you doing? Today we're doing a reacting to March's new music video because that's what I do at the start of every month. You know, in the past couple of months I've been saying that there haven't been a whole lot of releases yet. I have 21 songs for you today. You might be able to tell from the length of the video that March was a bit batshit wild. So many things were released, and yeah, now I have 21 songs to talk to you about. Luckily, I have already filmed my reaction to all of the songs, and it's such a good mix of songs. I had such a blast listening to most of these, so I'm very excited to share my thoughts with y'all. But let's actually start this video with some stats, which I never do, but because we have 21 songs, there's some stats. There's 21 songs on this list, 8 of which are by Taylor Swift, so thank her for that. 5 are by Sabrina Carpenter, 2 by Demi Lovato, and 2 by Maisie Peters. So those are some fun stats. I have 3 acoustic versions, 4 remixes, 1 walk version, 3 Taylor's versions. It's a lot. Those are my stats for this month. I'll have timestamps in the description to each song, and these are all the 21 songs I'll be talking about in this video. Still Alive from the original motion picture Scream 6 by Demi Lovato, Body Better Acoustic by Maisie Peters, Lavender Haze Tensnake remix by Taylor Swift, Lavender Haze Snakeships remix by Taylor Swift, Lavender Haze Jungle remix by Taylor Swift, Heaven acoustic version by Niall, Horan, Opposite by Sabrina Carpenter, Feather by Sabrina Carpenter, Lonesome by Sabrina Carpenter, Things I Wish You Said by Sabrina Carpenter, Eyes Wide Open Taylor's version by Taylor Swift, Safe and Sound Taylor's version by Taylor Swift, Troy Williams and Sean Paul White, If This Was a Movie Taylor's version by Taylor Swift, All of the Girls You Loved Before by Taylor Swift, Nonsense remix by Sabrina Carpenter with Corey Leray, SunKissing by Hailee Steinfeld, Heart Attack walk version by Demi Lovato, Hypothetisch by Pommelien, Thijs, Lost a Breakup by Maisie Peters, Trust Issues by Horan and Jauregui, and Lavender Haze acoustic version by Taylor Swift. That was it. I hope you enjoy. Hi, so I am here to react to a couple of songs, but the first one for today is Still Alive from the original motion picture Scream 6 by Demi Lovato. Okay, so it's Still Alive. I really like this song. It's not like one of my favorite Demi songs or anything, but I really love the vibe. I think they sound amazing on it, and it's a fun thing to listen to. I feel like when artists like make songs for like movies, they're very hit or miss for me, because sometimes you can tell they did not put all the effort in it. But this one I definitely really enjoyed. I think it works well for just knowing Demi and like their style and music and themes they've sung about in the past before, but also really works for the Scream franchise. So now we're moving to the bunch of remixes released today, starting with the Body Better acoustic version, which on Genius it says it was released on February 24th, but it came up on my Spotify and on my YouTube today, so I'm assuming it's actually from now. I don't know. She's got a better body. She got a body better than mine. On this channel, I think I've said enough times that I don't like remixes. Typically not my thing, but that being said, I always love an acoustic version. I don't know why, but they're my weak spot. I always love acoustic versions. There are a few instances where I like the acoustic more than the original. Typically that doesn't happen, but I am a good sucker for an acoustic version. I love it every time, and I really loved it with Body Better as well. Again, it's not better than the original, but I do think this does a better job at kind of like conveying the sadness of the lyrics, because it is a very upbeat song and it still is in the acoustic, but I feel like when you don't have the full production, you have to pay attention to the lyrics more, which just makes it hit even harder than it did in the original, which I like. And now we're getting into like the remixes. These are the things I typically don't like, because Taylor Swift released 3 more Lavender Haze remixes. The first one being the Tensnake remix. Obviously, not the biggest fan of it. I didn't hate it. It's not one of those remixes I hate. It just, it's a vibe that I wasn't expecting, that I don't know works well with this one in my opinion. I think it makes it a little bit more lame than I was expecting, but it's not horrible. The outro is way too long though for me. That just keeps on going and I'm just like, wrap it up. Let's see if I like the Snakeships remix a little bit better. Okay, so this one I like more than a Tensnake remix. I'm still not a huge fan of it. I don't see it making it to my main playlist, but I did have somewhat of a fun time listening to it, which I didn't really have with Tensnake remix. I thought this was fun. Again, an outro that was just a little bit too long for my tastes, but enjoyable. Last remix is the Jungle remix, of course still of Lavender Haze. I hated that. I hated every single second of that. This is also the longest of these 3 new remixes. I was torture every single second of it. If I never have to listen to that again, I'll be so happy. And I know that's not the case because I've started this video, which means I have to listen to it again. I don't want to do it. Hi, it's another Friday, which means it's another new music Friday. And today we got one song, which is Heaven, the acoustic version by Niall, Horan. And I'm very excited for this because, like I mentioned earlier in the video, I do love acoustic versions and I love Heaven. So I think I'm gonna love this. That was lovely. I love that so much. I don't love it more than the original, I have to say, but this acoustic version, it sounds so good. Niall's vocals on it are so good. It has this like sweeter element to it, and I just hello, we have 8 songs to talk about because Sabrina Carpenter released the deluxe version of her album and Untitled Chapter released 4 songs, so it's a lot. We're starting with Sabrina though, and we're starting with Opposite. This is gonna be brutal, isn't it? Like, these deluxe tracks are not gonna be the fun side of A Music Consent. That's a shame. Now, obviously, you know, maybe if you've been around here before, you definitely know Emails I Can Send was definitely by far, not by far, but easily my favorite album of last year. I am so utterly obsessed with it. And Opposite definitely does not put that album like in any worse part. It's a gorgeous song. I love it. I love the lyrics. I love the idea behind it. I love Sabrina's vocals on it. She sounds very vulnerable on it, which I like. And it's a really good song that wrecked me. But next we have Feather, also by Sabrina Carpenter, of course. Okay, I was definitely one before. We are getting the fun side on these deluxe tracks. This was so much fun, honestly. This is such a blast to listen to. It's such a fun vibe. I love the messiness of it. You can always rely on Sabrina Carpenter to bring you a sassy song, and it's no exception. And, it's so fun, and I love how you can tell from like the vocals that she also had fun recording it, and I just Lonesome, I have fears for. You can't spell lonesome without me. There's no hope in misery. I can't escape your history. You can't spell lonesome without me. I just can't. I was right. I think that a song titled Lonesome would wreck me. it happened. I love the vibe on this one though. It feels very Western. Like it's not a country song like, at all. But it has this like Western vibe to it and I love it. Like a Western movie vibe to it. And I love it. It works so well with Sabrina's vocals. She's so good in like her lower range and and then just like the lyrics and the message when it is on, Final song of the deluxe, Things I Wish You Said. I also have a feeling it's gonna wreck me.
Sorry that I pulled it, it's not you, it's me. One day I'll make sure you get a real apology. I waste my time, I waste my life on idiotic things. Like things you never said, things you never say to me.
That was as depressing as I thought it was gonna be. And the terrible thing is that I think it's a beautiful closer to the album, just like in general. I think Decode is a perfect ending to the original album, but I also think Things I Wish You Said is like a perfect ending to the album. But moving on to the Taylor's versions that were impossible to find. Taylor Swift's. I know you're not watching this, but why did you do that? Why did you say, hey, I'm releasing 4 new songs at midnight, and then at midnight no one can find them? Why was that a point? Why was that something that we needed to do? Anyway, we're here now. I'm starting with Eyes Open, Taylor's version, which I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't remember this song that well. Okay, so I feel like for this song, I need to give you my history with Taylor Swift. So, throughout most of Taylor's career, I've been like a casual fan. I've listened to all the albums in full except Reputation before at some point in my life, but casually, you know? And then when the Lover era happened, I became like a hardcore fan, which should be surprised to no one because The Lover is one of my favorite albums of all time. But that aside, so that happened, and then I wanted to go back and like revisit those old albums, but then the whole buying of masters happened and Taylor announcing their re-recordings, and then I was like, I felt weird about it to go back to those albums, and I just was like, I'll just wait for the re-recordings to come out to re-experience everything. That being said, I'm not a Hunger Games girly, never have been. I don't know why, that's just something I never got into. I tried watching the first movie once, was bored to death, didn't make it all the way through. I am so incredibly sorry. I know that it's like a staple of YA. Missed it. I don't know. Maybe if I tried to get into it now, I might like it. I don't know. But at the time, I didn't. So I generally, having heard this now, have never heard Eyes Open. Safe and Sound I know really well because that was really popular at the time. But Eyes Open, don't remember. I generally don't think I've ever heard that. But I really loved it. I really love like the powerfulness of it. I also think it works really well with Hunger Games from what I know about that story. I feel like the lyrics of it like fit the story really well. So yeah. Next is Safe and Sound Taylor's version, which features Joy Williams and John Paul White. And like I said, I know this one. This was really popular. So let's go. Safe and Sound. This song was fucking everywhere when it was first released, like the original stolen version. So of course I know it. I always thought it was very depressing. I know it's supposed to be like a lullaby and very much has like those lullaby vibes, especially in the chorus, but it's also like fucking depressing, which again makes sense with the story of the Hunger Games. But for some reason, having heard this after hearing Eyes Open, it's so much more depressing. Like I had to hold it. Then we're moving on to If This Was a Movie, Taylor's version, which again is one like from the title, I don't immediately get a sense of what song it is, but that might be my head constantly going to Hannah Montana when I hear this song. So I was definitely correct that my brain was deceiving me, and I definitely know this song. It just is still Hannah Montana's taking over with her title. But I really like this, and I get why I was moved to Fearless. I know the predominant theory, so it's why I moved to Fearless, is that it's the only song of the Speak Now we got that is co-written with someone else. It's not just Taylor Swift. And I get that the theory is that Taylor Swift's Speak Now Taylor's version is gonna be solely written just by her. And therefore, this was a movie had to be moved somewhere else. And I know a lot of people were already expecting this when Fearless Taylor's versions came out, and it wasn't on it then. And I get why that decision was made to not have it officially on there, but still belong to the Fearless, because I think it sounds like Fearless, but obviously it wasn't originally a part of that era. So I totally understand why we've made these decisions, and that makes me very excited for what Speak Now Taylor's version is gonna look like. Let's move on to All the Girls You Loved Before, which is a song that was scrapped off of Lover and was leaked pretty recently, I think, and now it's like the demo of it was leaked, and now we got it because Taylor Swift likes to be in control of her own music. All the Girls You've Loved Before. I have to say, my immediate reaction is a bit of a disappointment, but I think that is my fault for having waited a couple of days to listen to this. I've been busy this past weekend, but I have been on TikTok occasionally, and I've seen people absolutely rave about this song, and I don't get that. So therefore, my immediate reaction is disappointment. But if I try to look at this on its own, I think it's good. I love the dreamy vibe of it. I like the message of the song. I love the lyrics. I think Taylor sounds great on it. So there's not really a complaint I have. It's just that I think I hyped it too much up in my head before listening to it, and that just kind of made me feel a little bit disappointed. Because hi, how are you doing? It's now a week, and I have 3 songs to listen to this week. So let's go. We're starting off with another Sabrina song, as she released the remix for Nonsense, which features Leray. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that, but I am so incredibly excited for this, even though I'm not a remix girly. Okay, so I do feel the need to say that this is probably my least favorite version of Nonsense that we've gotten, but it's still Nonsense, and I still love it. Next song is SunKissing by Hailee Steinfeld, which I really liked Coast, which she released last year. I think that kind of went under the radar, so I'm hoping this one will get the hype it deserves if it's good. Okay, so with SunKissing, I feel like I kind of have the same reaction as with Coast when I first listened to it, so it gives me high hopes. Because when I first listened to Coast, which again came out last year, I kind of had this like, oh, this is fun, this is summery, but it's kind of like okay. And then as I listened to it more after it came out, and like seeing other people like react to it as well, and I just grew to like love it. And I have that right now. I have this song. I've had this song stuck in my head, Coast, the entire day, because I knew I was going to listen to a new Hailee Steinfeld song. And again, with SunKissing, I feel like I'm having a lot of fun. It's very summery, but also very average. But because that is like the exact same reaction I had to Coast, I feel like I'm going to also end up loving this one. It's a vibe. That's all I know. And talking about vibes, we got a very unexpected for me release by Demi Lovato this week, and that's the Heart Attack Walk version. And I was like, why is this a thing now? I don't hate it, I'm very excited for it, but like I wondered why it happened, and then I noticed that Heart Attack is 10 years old, which makes me feel old because I remember when that song came out so vividly. So yeah, I am very excited to listen to this. know how it's possible, but I loved it so much more than the original. And How to Take Out is one of my favorite Demi songs. I'm processing. I'll see you next week. Okay, so we have 4 more songs today. 4 that I am very excited for, but let's start with the one that I'm most excited for, and that is Hypothetisch by Pommelien and Haze. That absolutely did not disappoint. Oh my god, that was such a fun song. I mean, we do get like an emotional beat towards like the bridge, and that's amazing. But overall, the song has like a really fun vibe, and it's such a blast listening to it. It's a hit yet again. She also announced her album yesterday, which is coming out in June. And June's gonna be such a hectic month. I already have 3 albums scheduled for June from artists I follow. So that's gonna be fun. But yeah, this song, absolutely amazing. Such a bop, such a blast. So let's move on to the next song, which is also by an artist who is releasing an album in June. And that's Lost to Breakup by Maisie Peters. And another song that was an absolute blast to listen to. Oh, that was so much fun. Again, it has like more of like an emotional and like depth to it, but overall it's really fun. I really love the lyrics. I love the melody. It was so much fun. And like, I know you can't see me while I'm listening to these, which thank God. I was dancing on throughout that entire day. I had so much fun. It was such a bop. And yeah, again, excited for the album coming in June. Literally, in June, I have Pommelien, Niall, and Maisie. That one is gonna wreck me. Talking about something that is gonna wreck me, I think, I don't know, I'm assuming this is gonna be more emotionally charged. It has the West issues by Jauregui. Okay, so tourist issues. Not as soul crushing as what I expected it to be, but an absolutely gorgeous song. I really loved it. It's so beautiful, and it's like stripped back and simple, but it still just like works so well. So let's move on to the last song of this video, which feels very appropriate. That's a Lavender Haze acoustic version by Taylor Swift. Okay, so that was Lavender Haze, the acoustic version. And what we know from this video already is that I'm an acoustic girly. I love a good acoustic version. This one is very different from like your typical acoustic version. And I don't know how to feel about it. I don't hate it. It's very different. It's a very different vibe. It's a very different feel. And I'm still getting used to it. That was everything I have for you today. It's a lot. I'm so sorry. I was not in charge this month. Absolutely not. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of these songs if you listened to them, as well as some of your favorite songs that came out this month that I'll talk about in this video. Alright guys, I'll see you guys next time.
Here I am again, the same old situation. Why does the God thing have to be so complicated? I should have played it cool instead of